Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Board Game Barbecue podcast, brought to you by Advent Games, More Than Meeples, and our top-notch Patreons. This is episode 358, and I'm your host today, Dana Banana, and I'm joined here by my fellow Queenslander, Lauren, who's taken the Outback title from Connor and now has the Outback title.
Absolutely. Wear it with pride. How are you, Dana?
Good, thank you. And I'm also joined by Jules. Jules, how's married life treating you?
It's really good. At the time of recording this on a Sunday, the weather in Sydney was actually a very mild sunny day. And sort of just before dinner time, we walked out our front door across the road, and there's a big oval at our place, literally across the road. And we played Finska for a little while, just out in the sunshine. It was lovely.
I've been enjoying it's actually Kieran's, social media posts where you've been cooking in the kitchen together.
Oh man, actually, I was going to say, has she ever? But no, we both have been cooking. We had fresh focaccia for lunch today, which has been wonderful. She made orange and poppy seed cake. We've had zucchini bread, banana bread. I've said I need to slow down because if I
Aren't you meant to
keep
be going
eating
to
all
the
these.
gym?
Yeah, I instead of runs, I'll be doing rolls at the gym. So I need to, we need to pace ourselves. But no, she's loving it, and I'm enjoying the fruits of the labors for sure.
Exceptions need to be made for fresh focaccia, though.
It was so good. It was fermented for 18 hours in the fridge. Oh, it was great.
I tell you what, when I look at your photos, I think, I wish I was young again. That's what I wish. Because
You're still young.
This never happens in our household anymore. Never.
Dana, there is not an age limit on focaccia. Also, that never happened in my household, so I don't even know if it's an age thing.
My husband hasn't cooked anything since the Titanic movie came out. So yeah, there's no couples cooking in the kitchen. I am just back from Dicetower West only a couple of weeks ago, and I'm very excited, and I thought you might like to ask me questions about it.
Nah, I'm
Dana.
good.
Was Tom Baskell everything you hoped he would be?
Yes, tell us about the infamous meeting.
Yeah, okay, all right. Okay, I'm going to tell you about the meeting. So we had lunch together. We went out to Chinese. There were 3 other people and myself. I actually paid for 2 people. That's how desperate I was to go to lunch with Tom Baskell. He's huge.
He's a tall man.
He is very tall. I
Yes.
was really surprised. He's a tall man. And I would say that he's got a good sense of humor, but he's very, very dry.
Mm-hmm.
Like really, really dry. And I think because of his height as well, he's quite intimidating. He's very, quite an imposing figure. Anyway, I had to work up the courage to do my T-shirt thing, my T-shirt prank, where I got a button-up, like a cheap button-up shirt printed like a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
Hawaiian shirt with his face. So I turned up to registration and there were 3 other people there, and I had my custom printed Hawaiian T-shirt with Tom Vassel's head all over it. And I turned up, and these 3 other people, I think, thought I was a complete idiot. And Tom just sort of had this smirk on his face. And I said, have you seen anything like this before? And he said, I've seen worse. And I said, because I can take it off. If you're uncomfortable, I can take it off. And I started unbuttoning my shirt. And as I unbuttoned my shirt, his face was popping out from my chest because the T-shirt that I had his face on it.
Oh, no.
And he started laughing and he said, can I just ask, when is this Russian doll going to end? And I just thought it was quite funny, and the other people did laugh. But I wore that the whole time. And I said, well, I have got some photos in my wallet as well. So if I use my wallet and they accidentally fall out, just don't be worried about it. So yeah, he was good about it. He actually said, yes, that he has had people do similar things before. It was great to meet him, and it was great to meet the rest of the Dice Tower crew as well. So I got to meet Mike Delicio, Z Garcia, Camilla, and there was someone else. Oh, the married couple. Really, really great. Like very energetic and just happy to be there. I was pleasantly surprised. Like they do a couple of panels, things like that, and I was pleasantly surprised that they did their top 10 gambling games. And it was great to see the natural charisma between the crew. They were just like they are on screen. It was absolutely perfect.
Oh, they're seasoned presenters. You know, it's not their
yeah.
first rodeo.
They've done a
That's
video
so
or
good,
two.
Dana.
Okay, I just thought they'd be like us, but they weren't.
I mean, Jules
were,
is a seasoned presenter. You and me, Dana, maybe not so much.
They were way more professional.
Can I say, Dana, if you go back, what you're going to have to do next time, you know how the professional athletes have those like tearaway pants?
Oh,
trackies,
yes.
like rip off the trackies and their shorts underneath. Next time, it's going to be
done that.
pants with Tom Bassel's face, and then you rip those off, and then
leggings.
their shorts. It's the tights with his face on them.
I want to do it, but I'll tell you about just a couple of things about my experience. Sorry, I know it's not the Dana show, but anyway. So I went a little bit nuts with buying games because I'd never experienced like anything like that before, and I went a bit crazy, and my room was just full of boxes, and I thought I am going to need to post something back. I cannot even fit this in an extra bag. There was so much stuff, and so I pack a box. I go to some of the exhibitors and I get 2 boxes and some packing material, take it back to the room, wrap everything up. It's all done. Get a cab. It's at $25 US, and I go to a DHL. It's closed.
Oh no.
Then I eventually find my way to a FedEx. The cab fare's now at $50.
Oh.
And I walk in there and the cab driver says, yeah, I'll wait for you. Anyway, I go in there and she said, oh, you're going to post this to Australia. You need to unpack everything. Each individual game, we need to weigh and measure the dimensions. I need a receipt for every game, and I need to cite exactly where the board game was made.
Oh,
For everything. I had to so I told the cab driver, you better go. I had to unpack all the boxes. There was crap everywhere. There was packing material everywhere. There were people lined up behind me getting very frustrated. It took me at least an hour of unpacking these games and writing everything. And you can't even imagine. I want to hear guesses of how much you think it cost me to post these games. Oh my God.
How many games total was it?
It was probably 10. Oh, no, maybe more, 15, because there was lots of little games as well.
Okay.
I'm
going to say...
You can't even imagine how much it cost me.
If you're doing FedEx, were you doing express or just normal?
No, just normal.
I'm going to guess it was in the realm of $200 US.
Yeah, higher.
Oh, no.
It was ridiculous. It was higher than that. Anyway.
It's not over 300. I need to know now.
It was higher than 300.
No way.
I'm just telling you, I had already spent $50 on a cab, and I had to get the cab back. And I was so frustrated. I was sweating, and I thought, why do you have to know the dimensions of what's in the box? Just post it.
Did it ever cross your mind to just buy another luggage bag? And
well, I already had another bag. I already had a second bag. That was full.
Pay for a third.
Yes. So I thought, I don't think I can take 2 bags. I was so fed up. I thought, just take the box. Just take it. I just don't even care anymore. I was frustrated.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, never mind. One of the highlights, this is just final thing because I don't want to talk about myself the entire podcast. One of the highlights was hanging out with the Joey fam. So that's the Thinker Thema Patreon group.
Mm-hmm.
which I'm a member of, and that was unbelievable. They made me feel so welcome. I didn't know anybody, and what they do is they set up at Dice Tower West. Dice Tower West is their yearly get together. They get together at other little conventions, but Dice Tower West is the main one. And normally Think a Theme always go to Dice Tower West. This time they decided not to go because of Maggie is a Venezuelan citizen, and they were a little bit concerned about, what's going on over there at the moment. Anyway, and they set up this little area at the back of Dice Tower West in the main hall. They call it the Outback, and they just basically take over this space and they play together. And then a couple of them hire suites, and everybody in the Joey fam go up to the suites and play all night at night. It was awesome. And I didn't have to pay for anything. They provided all the drinks, everything. It was unbelievable. It was so wonderful. And we even got to do a call with Amy and Maggie, like a video call with Amy and Maggie and everybody in the room. It was really special. So yeah, it was lovely. It was lovely. Would you guys like to go to Dice Tower West one day?
Possibly yes, but I could be wrong. But I feel like what we do at our game days achieves some of that feel. It's a convention you just sit down to play. But obviously meeting new people there would be a really fun experience. And obviously there's new games that, Dana, you've alluded to as well that are out in the US and not here at this time. So yeah, it's something I'd like to go to, but it's not a bucket list item for me.
Yeah. It is very much a playing convention, more so than, say, Gen Con or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I lived in the US, I would attend them. You know what I mean?
I thought the community was great. It was just so friendly. It was just like at PlayCon or our game days or whatever. Board gamers are so lovely. They're just lovely people. So. And you would have been fangirling over me meeting Taylor Reiner.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Taylor's trick-taking table. Voila.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, he was lovely. But yeah. So, enough about me. What do you think of me?
Wait, Dana, you didn't even talk about the things you played.
Yeah.
Oh, I will talk about a couple of the games I played, but no, never mind about me. Jules, what have you been playing?
Oh man, it's been a hot minute since I've been on the podcast, and not because I haven't been playing, life has just been busy, but I've been playing quite a few games. Probably the one that could have been my sizzle up until Friday, where I played another game, which I'll talk about later, probably would have been the cut for the sizzle, and that's Waddle from All Play. Waddle is so good, and the box does not convey the feel of the game at all to me. It's one of those types of games. It's, beautiful, sunset aurora with penguins walking across the ice. But this game is knife fight in a phone booth. It is so good. So what you're doing in Waddle is you have a tile map that you lay out randomly every time, and you have different colored penguins. And it's very simple. There are little ponds or water, holes in the ice that are numbered 1 through to, let's say, 18. Depending on the player count, you'll have more or less tiles. And you resolve each of those in number order. And so what you're going to be doing is a turn order track using a little marbles and a sloped cardboard, slot together board, where players are going to take turns in the order, either placing a penguin adjacent to the pond that is active, or they can pass by scouting ahead, meaning they're locking in their position of turn order for the next pond when we're finished with the current one. How the pond gets resolved is once every single hex around that pond or water hole has been filled in by a penguin, it's done, and then you move on to the next one. And for those that have scouted ahead, you start again placing penguins in turn order. There's one catch to the game, though, that's quite fun, is that if all players pass and one player is left and all the spaces around the pond are not filled, then they have to put down penguins to fill all the remaining spaces. Now, this creates a tension in two ways. One is you have a finite number of penguins. It is possible to run out. I haven't seen it happen in a game yet. Maybe it happens with lower player counts. I've played it at 3 and 4 players at this point in time. I haven't done up to 5 yet. But the other way I should say the first way you're scoring points is with those ponds. Some of them have fish that have a point value, and the person with the most penguins around it will score the points. If there's multiple ponds joined together, then first place gets first pick, which obviously they take the highest points, and second gets the second fish, and so on if there happens to be more than that. But the other way you score a lot of points is by grouping your penguins together. So the larger the group is, or consecutively connected tiles of groups or whatever, it doesn't matter if it's a line or if it's like a clump, doesn't matter how they're arranged, as long as they're distinctly separate by at least a break in the tiles, then you score every group. So you've got this wonderful tension of passing because you know the next pond's more important because it might help you get control of that one, but also help link up some other penguins you've placed previously. But also by passing, you give the opportunity for your opponent to put down lots of penguins that are all going to be next to each other, boosting up their score, but also them having to be careful about watching how the other players pass so that they don't run out of penguins. That's the best way I can describe it. And it's just so simple. Put a penguin down or pass, and then you move your marble to the back of the marble run. That's all you do. And it's just brilliant. It's a really distilled, simple sort of area control, and I guess it's a penguin placement is the best way I can describe it. But there's also some expansion modules that I thought were really, really fun. And one of the ones I loved was there's orcas that you can put down. And it's the person who has the most penguins around the orca loses 7 points, and the person who has the least gains 7 points. So you've got this tension that you're trying to avoid having the most around them, but having some around them, because 0 doesn't count. You have to have a penguin there. And then there's eggs that give you bonus points and allow you to break some of the placement rules. And then there's ice flows, which enable you to connect over water with one little tile, which is really, really fun. It's a beautifully presented game. It's one of those games that feels like there's so much decision and tension packed in that tiny little box. It's the same size box as Things and Rings, if you know what that looks like. And I was just blown away how amazing and fun this game is. I've taught it to a few people now that aren't really board gamers, and they were able to pick it up and really, really enjoy it.
Is it suitable for families? Would you say it's a great family game?
Yep, absolutely. The rules are so simple. It's literally put down a penguin adjacent to that body of water we're working on, or pass. That's all you do. Super simple.
Tell you what, all play, they just knock it out. They're just knocking it out of the park, really.
Yeah. There's very few misses that they put out for me. And this one was kindly sent to them for review. I'm very grateful they sent that over. But yeah, enjoyed it so much more than I thought I would. And I will mention they also sent over Mountain Goats, which I got to play for the first time as well. And I really enjoyed that one. I thought it was quite fun. It's probably not as fun as Waddle, I would say, but again, a really good family game where you're just going to be rolling dice and using the sum or splitting those dice to move goats up mountain tracks. And then you're trying to go to the top to earn points. And there's a finite number of points on the piles at the top of those mountains. And yeah, you're just trying to collect that and play the odds of, dice rolling, which is quite fun. So
I love Mountain Goats.
I thought it was good.
I found that a great family game. And there's a recent Kickstarter, Mountain Goats Legacy.
Yeah, I am curious to see how they're turning that into a legacy game.
I don't know how curious as well. Work. I didn't even look at it, but of course I backed it. But I have no idea how you would make this into a legacy game. I have no clue.
No, me neither. So I'm very curious to see how they achieve that.
But it's all play, so it's probably going to be good.
I'm sure it will be.
What about you, Lauren? What have you been doing?
Oh, I've been a little light on the games, but one I did want to mention, and I'm not sizzling it because I've genuinely never seen a game that is perhaps more fragile but in the right circumstances, with the right group of people happy to commit to the game in the right way. I had a lot of fun with it. And that game is called Thing Thing. Either of you heard of it? Played it?
No,
I
I've
have.
never heard of this.
I was
Uh,
mentioning to you, it's like 70s artwork.
Yeah, it's by
Yeah.
Jasper Beatrix, the guy who did Signal, Typeset, those games.
Okay,
Is
yes.
Signal the one with in the black and white box?
Yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
was Typeset.
Holy crap. That game just, I didn't get it. It was so hard. Oh my God. So this is going to be interesting.
So Thing Thing is a really simple game. Basically, you've got a hand of cards that are just different words, things like DVD, water slide, like things in rings, kind of, nouns.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Things like that. People. On your turn, all you want to do is come up with a kind of category that links 2 or more cards in your hand and you play them down. So if it was, I don't know, water slide and brick, I could be like things that could kill you. Or a water slide and building things you could fall from. I don't know, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a very good one. And then I would play those cards and then people could challenge it and say, no, that's actually not that category. But if they don't, then everyone could go around and play cards in my category as well. So everyone will go around, play a card. You're trying to get rid of all of your cards. For every other person, when it's your turn and you play cards, for every other person that can put a card that matches your category, you draw a card. So you want to make your category as obscure as possible.
Oh, okay.
And you want to get rid of as many cards as you can and make that category as obscure as possible. You can already start to see why this game is fragile.
So yes, I because my brain went to immediately, Lauren, things that were at my 5th birthday as a child.
So it has, I mean, you could. There's some rules about the kinds of categories you can give that stop it from being meta, has to relate to the words, things like that.
Gotcha.
So you can't be like, cards that are in my hand right now. So they do put constraints around it. But
dang it.
the other rule is that anyone can challenge it. And if anyone challenges it, it goes back in your hand. That's not how we played. We changed it. And I really do think you need to house rule that if someone challenges it, you have to get a majority vote. Because that creates a bit more of the table talk and discussion that you kind of want out of this game, as opposed to someone just like, no, that's not right, and then you have to take it back, is a bit rubbish. But
yeah.
So with that house rule, actually pretty fun. If you are happy to play it fast and loose, if you have people that aren't kind of too gamery, right? You don't want to play this game with those people. That would suck. But happy to play fast and loose and know each other pretty well, and it'll generate a bit of table talk, then it's a nice little romp. I will say it doesn't work with kids because looking at the words, I was like, it's a millennial plus that has created this game. Clearly the words are like DVD is in there.
Okay,
things kids are not gonna know.
Am I a millennial?
I don't know, honestly.
What am I?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Gen X, Boomer. I don't know. I don't know what the generations above me are.
I don't know. I was just wondering because I mean, obviously DVDs are. I know what those are, but yes, you're right. my kids would go, what?
Right. But it was a pretty pleasant time. I wasn't mad at it. I don't think you have to go out and rush it. I could see it hugely flopping, but it was fun.
Yeah. Again, my gamery brain's gone to things with electrons.
Yeah.
Just everything.
Correct, but then everyone else could play everything.
Correct, exactly, yeah.
So you're trying to think of things that won't apply to other people's cards.
Yeah,
but it's hard because you don't know what's in their hand.
You got to see the cards in front of you. Very cool.
It's very interesting. I'm not fast and loose, so I don't know whether it'd be my kind of game. I'm loose, but not fast.
That's what I was literally about to say, Dana.
Well, I got to play a game just very briefly. It was a demo, but it's called RAAS, RAAS, and it is due to be fulfilled very soon. I believe maybe for Essen or Gen Con, I think. And it was on Kickstarter, and it's a game about an Indian folk dance. And during the game, you're going to be drafting dice in order to build up your player board into a tableau. And it's got a really beautiful theme. And I was lucky enough to meet the designer, Mahir, who was there, and he was teaching some of the games, and he was talking about his culture, and it's his first game as well. So I was really touched by the theme and the thought that he had put into it. So if you are by any chance, like Lauren, looking at the game, it's probably the most attractive thing about this game is it has a wonderful looking board which has 7 rotating discs, and it's all connected by a central gear. And on your turn, depending on where you're seated, you're going to draft a die. And the die could represent a dancer, or it could represent part of the dancer's costume or the song. And as I said, all of these have cultural links. For example, the dress should always match. They use sticks in this dance. They're called dendia sticks. I think they're called dendia sticks. So the dress always should match the sticks. And then certain dances have to match the song. And so on your player board, you'll be trying to match different coloured dice. And after a number of rounds, it's whoever creates the best dance troupe. And it goes for probably 45 minutes. It actually plays really, really quickly because all you're doing is just drafting dice on your turn. And there's a certain number of turns. I think it's 8 turns that you have in the game. But this spinning mechanism is really eye-catching, and it's very, very thinky. And at the end of the turn, the central mechanism turns a certain number of sectors, I guess, to try and mix things up, so you're not always getting the same looking sections on these dials. And it was a highlight. And as I said, to meet the designer, it was really special. And yeah, I think it's going to be a big hit. It was a big hit. It was very. I did not see the table that it was set up on. I did not see it vacant at all during the 5-day convention. So yeah, it was a big hit. So I guess you could probably say when you look at it, it looks like it's a bit of a gimmick. You know, when you see things that, it's just a gimmick. But I think it worked really well. So
cool.
Yes, so that was Ras.
I'm glad you said that you liked it, Dana, because it gave me a little bit of a vibe of Shuffle and Swing when I looked at the board. And that game I did not care for. Ooh. So I'm actually quite keen to try this one. It looks really cool.
I haven't played Shuffle and Swing, but
you don't need to.
Okay. Righto. So far we've got Thing, which could flop, and don't play Shuffle and Swing. Got it.
I'm a beacon of positivity, Dana.
Lauren's doing the work to steer us from bad games. That's what she's doing. Just as important.
Said that's not true. Under the right circumstances, Thing could be really fun. There are no circumstances under which Shuffle and Swing is fun.
Oh no.
If we have that at PlayCon, maybe we should have a disclaimer.
Yes.
Oh God, Jules, what else have you been playing? Because you said you've been playing heaps.
Yes, another game I got to play recently was Shadow Moon Syndicates. So that was a Kickstarter that delivered not too long ago. That's from Arcus, which is the likes of Shem Phillips helps run that publishing studio, but this was designed by Jay Carmichael, the 3-minute board games guy on YouTube. And yeah, really loved it. It's an argy-bargy area control game where the premise is you're going to be using some clever card play to place out influence markers. Then you have to remove those influence markers in order to score the point tokens that get randomly generated on the board. I won't go into so much detail about it because I've only played it the once, but the artwork is super cool. I went and got the full deluxe version with metal coins and all that snazzy stuff. But I'm looking forward to playing this again at some point because I did get the expansion I felt like the main game was really good, but I felt like it could have more. And I feel like that's what the expansion will do for me in adding just that little bit more in terms of decisions and other things to interact with.
Is this his first game? Mission Red Planet.
Mission Red Planet.
Yeah.
No,
Is that him?
is it that? It's a 4X game. It's published by GMT. I just can't. It's something to do with Mars, and I can't remember the exact name. We're close. But yes, he's also designed other games. But the cool thing was that the lore and story building in this game, Shadowmoon Syndicates, was done with people from Weta Workshop, which is really cool. If you know Weta,
awesome.
they
Yes.
did a lot of stuff with Lord of the Rings. So yeah, some very talented people in that studio, which was really cool that they had that collaboration.
Red Dust Rebellion.
That's the one. Red Dust
yes.
Rebellion.
I knew it was 4X Mars, but I just didn't remember the name.
Yes. We got there.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, loved my play of Shadowmoon Syndicates. Not more to say about it until I play it some more, but first one really positive.
Just because you use the expression argy-bargy, good name for an area control game.
Ooh, yes.
Like
a 20-minute area control experience called
Yes.
argy-bargy. Someone designed that.
Okay.
That is actually a very good name. I do like that. Is there a game called Knife Fight in a Phone Box? Because I think
No,
that
but
would
it should be.
I think that would be a good
That's
game
something
too.
that Exploding Kittens would make.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Suppose. Argy-bargy. Well done, Lauren.
Oh, Dana. You're always here to boost me up. Feels nice.
Another game I want to mention that I have played is called Storyfold. So this one was published by Open Owl Studios, and they sent this one for review. And it's a solo game. I haven't done any solo gaming for a while, which I'm actually happy about. I haven't had the need to do solo gaming now that I have someone in my life that enjoys games that is in close proximity to me.
Mate, why the drive-by?
Just rub it in.
But I have enjoyed some solo gaming. Like, as I was going through my shelf the other day, I saw Resist, great solo game, and I thought to myself, when am I going to play this again? But I don't want to get rid of it because it's such a great game. Anyway, solo gaming's still good. I've done a lot of it. It probably won't go away. But Storyfold, I actually played with Kieran because there's no reason you couldn't. Because in a way, a solo game is really a cooperative game. You can have that discussion with another person and it doesn't affect the gameplay. But Storyfold is a narrative game. It's a campaign as well, and you are playing the role of a girl, and there's some dark magic that has seeped into the forest, and you're trying to change that and turn it around. It's got a really clever card play system, and the Open Owl Studio team has done a really good job, like they did with Mythwind, in that the game packs away really neatly and you can pause it almost at any time. It's the same thing. I don't know why they've got a thing for that sort of game where you can just pause literally at any time and then pick up and go again, but that's a thing they build into their games, which is kind of cool. We played through the first 2 scenarios and I was really, really enjoying it. But then the realization started to hit me that I feel like this game's just going to have the same trick over and over and over and over and over again, because obviously the story will develop, the missions will get harder, etc. But because I was able to see into the game box and see it's just more decks of cards, I felt like the game loop was just, I had to play that over and over and over and over again. And while I enjoyed it, after packing up that first session, I thought, I don't know if I'm going to have this wow moment if I go back to it. I will go back to it to give it, its fair shake, but I feel like for me personally, the story wasn't grabbing enough to see what's round the next corner or in the next chapter. And the artwork's really nice. It's not necessarily my style, but there's just a few things that didn't grab me, didn't hook me. The writing wasn't quite to my style, nor did I think it was really, really evocative. And so for me, it's, while I said I've enjoyed my first time playing it, I'm feeling reluctant to go back to it, but I will do it just to see how much further this progresses, or maybe there is a huge mechanic turnaround at some point in the game. But yeah, it would also be fair to say it is definitely not my style of game. So take that with a grain of salt. For those who are seasoned listeners, you'll know what my kind of style of game is. I like aggressive,
Argy-bargy.
argy-bargy style
Oh,
games,
yeah.
and this is not that. You're not fighting monsters, you're trying to cure them. But the puzzle feels quite cool, but like I said, it feels like it's going to be that same puzzle on repeat, and I feel like that could get old after a little while.
I was wondering what Kieran thought of it, being a new gamer.
She actually really enjoyed it. She thought it was very cool. They've taken a leaf definitely out of the Gloomhaven thing, where it's a book that opens up and you're flipping pages to go through those missions. So the setup is super quick. Like, it takes almost no time at all. There's just, once you open the book, you've got some cards you need to lay out, and kind of away you go. But yeah, she really enjoyed it. She would be happy to play again, and that's probably why I'm willing to give it another shakedown. If it was just me, I'd be like, nah, one of you guys can give it a go. I'll pass it on.
I was actually just thinking, there are so many games out there. It's almost hard to spend the time to say, okay, I'm going to give this another go. It's going to have to want you to make you want to come back to it.
Yeah. And look, I personally, one of the reasons I want to give it another go and delve a bit further into it, I really like the people at Open House Studios. I think they do some fantastic games, and they were so, I always remember this when they first reached out to us to send review games. It was Mythwind, and I think at that point in time, most of the other team had stuff on their review pile, or they'd looked at it and gone, nah, it's not my thing. And I thought, no, I'm going to give it a go. Mythwind is like the complete polar opposite of the style of gaming I do.
Yeah.
That I'm going to see what happens. And I laid that out to them, open and honestly. I'm like, I'll take this, but this is so not my style of game. And they're like, yes, we're still happy to send it. I've got a lot of respect for them. I want to give all their games a fair shake.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So yeah, that was Storyfold. So there's more to say. I think the gameplay is clever. It's just the story didn't grab me, but I'm going to go back to it and see if that changes.
I did have one game at Dice Tower West that left me wanting more and left me very impressed. It really surprised me, and that was Railway Boom. So this is a Japanese game, and it's sort of like a condensed version of Age of Steam. It's got beautiful Ian O'Toole artwork, and you're going to be building train routes through 19th century Japan. Now, I must admit that when I hear train game, that doesn't make me excited to play anything.
Me neither.
No, I just think, oh my God. Well, I normally think of Age of Steam, and Age of Steam is just very dry. Like, it's just so bland for me. It's bland for my taste. However, this game will surprise you. So the heart of the game is continuous bidding. So each stage or action that you do is decided through bidding, and bidding for turn order. And you'll be bidding with the resources that you need to complete those actions. So, for example, that means that I think there's four auctions in the game. And the first auction, you'll be bidding for your engines and carriages with wood. But yet you need wood to be able to play these engines and carriages. The second one, you will be bidding with coins to build like your routes and terminals. But you need to be able to spend coins to be able to do that. So it's very much, you're sort of thinking, God, how much can I bid here? Because I really want this, but I haven't got enough to do this. And income is very, very tight. It's very hard to get resources in this game. And then there's another auction, which is you're bidding on technology, which will give you a one-time ability, or it might give you an ongoing ability. And you're going to bid with those using cogs. And then the final thing is you're going to be bidding for special goals that you can reach during the game. And you're going to be bidding with coal. During the game, there's an income phase. You'll be running those trains, and then you're going to start over again. And the auctions, as I said, at the heart of this game are so tense. You really have to decide what you're going to prioritize. And I just found it fantastic. It was just tense the entire game. I love it that you're not bidding with money, for example, just for everything. You're bidding with wood for your train carriages. You're bidding with coins for this. And the fact that you're going to have to pay with those resources for the bidding, plus you're going to have some left over to be able to do the actions that you want to do. And I was just so impressed with this game. It goes for about an hour, maybe 2 hours max for 4 people. So I think it's just right. It's very easy to explain. The iconography is really intuitive, and it was a real surprise to me. As I said, I've watched a couple of videos since, because I only got to play it once, and it was Rado's top game of 2025. It was Amy from Think of Theme. It was her number 2 game of 2025. And it just sort of came out of nowhere. I was just lucky I had the opportunity to play. And I'm definitely going to keep my eye out for this one. And maybe it might make its way to a convention that we know of.
Who's to say?
Who's to say? But yeah, it was fantastic.
Can I squeeze in one more game that is maybe a bit dumb, but quite good in the right circumstances?
You're really batting 1,000 here, Lauren.
Hell yeah.
Woohoo.
Okay. So The Number by Hisashi Hayashi is a push your luck gambling kind of game. Very interesting conceit. Everyone writes a number from a 3-digit number from 000 to 999. Okay? Everyone writes their numbers in secret. Then you reveal the numbers and you just put them from highest to lowest. And then you go down the list and check. If your number shares a digit with any number below it, you're eliminated. So if my number was 777, I look at all the numbers below. Say Dana's is 107. Her number has a 7. I'm eliminated.
The higher numbers are limited.
Yeah. We check my number for all the ones below it. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever you're left with, the first digit becomes your score for that round.
Ooh.
Okay. And then you have a board with the digits 0 through 9. You cross off all of the digits that you used in your number. You can't use those again.
Oh, okay.
That's
and you do that 5 times. You'll get a little bonus if you're the highest number of that round that remained.
Cool.
That goes up by the rounds. And that's basically, you do 5 rounds, then you do that 2 times, and that's the whole game. And the highest score wins. If you
sounds kind of fun.
Get eliminated, you just get a 0. It is really fun.
When you started talking, I thought, oof.
Isn't that just whenever I talk, Dana? You could play it with just paper. You don't need to own the game, but it's actually pretty fun. It's very silly, but you feel, despite it being a very stupid game, you feel smart when you pull off a really high brazen number. I don't know. And because there's 5 rounds, but only digits 0 to 9, you're going to have to use numbers that have repeating digits.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just liked it. I just thought it was fun, and you know what? Stuff it. This one I recommend.
Oh, there we go.
This is so funny because, like, I look bewildered. Like, on camera, I look bewildered going, I don't get it. You're the queen of finding unusual, quirky games. You're the queen.
Hayashi. He's well known.
I know. I know, but it's quirky. It's not something that I would gravitate towards, but I'm going to try it.
What was it called
So
again?
that's The Number
The
by
Number.
Hisashi Hayashi.
Sounds good.
You know that game you've been wanting for a long, long time? The one that's been on your wish list for ages? Yeah, that one. The one you've been adding to your cart and taking off again, umming and ahhing about whether you should get it or not? Well, I'm here to push you over the edge and say go to adventgames.com and add that to your cart right now. I bet you that Dean has a great price on it. He's got great customer service, flat rate shipping, and there's so many other goodies to explore on the website. Wonderful categories all organised to pick the exact game that's right for you and the group that you play with. So head over now, don't hesitate, to adventgames.com.au and add that game to your cart now.
You have a sizzle, Jules. I can see you're ready.
I do. Oh, we've already been talking for a while, but I do have lots to say about this game. It's another recent Kickstarter that arrived, and that's March of the Ants. This is a second edition, so it's not a brand new game on the market, but it's had a polish up in terms of artwork and rules and whatnot. I've never played the original version, so I can't comment on what changes are positive or negative in any way. But the best way to describe this game, I guess it's really to a subset of people in the hobby that have played Eclipse, Second Dawn for the Galaxy. It is like a distilled version of Eclipse, and it is brilliant. And I love Eclipse. Love, love, love that game. I even enjoy the faults it has where people tend to just turtle up and then there's this big epic fight at the end of the game. I don't hate that. Some people don't love it, but I do have fun every time I play it. It's fun building your ships and customizing them. But March of the Ants gets the same feel of that game, distilled down to a much shorter time frame, and gives you some of the same satisfactions that Eclipse does. So I'll break it down. First off is it has the exploration type system that Eclipse does. So you're going to take an exploration action, you're going to flip it out, it's going to have locations on it that generate resources that you can claim. And some of the tiles you flip out, instead of having alien ships you fight, have giant centipedes that anyone can fight and try and get rewards for. So there's so much similarity in that regard. You have I alluded to resource generation. So food is a really important resource in the game. You use it to spend on certain actions to take them, but you also need to feed all of your ants at the end of a round. And any ants you can't feed are removed from the board. You've got then, like in Eclipse, you've got ships that you can upgrade with different weapons and armor, engines, etc. In March of the Ants, they simplify all that and you can evolve your ants. So there's cards in the game that you can pay as upgrades that evolve the head, the legs or the middle, the torso, and then the abdomen at the end of the ant. And all of those different cards provide special powers or abilities that trigger at certain times. So you get to customize the way your ants work in the game, which is really, really cool. And the more you upgrade your ants, the more points you get. So you're incentivized to just your ants are going to be changing throughout the game as you change all the different evolutions throughout that you can pay for. And basically you have a round where everyone's going to be taking actions until everyone passes. And then you're going to go around resolving all the battles in all the different hexes where there are more ants than there are resource locations to claim. And the way that battles work is each ant is worth 1 strength. Plus, if you have any upgrades to your head, that's going to add more strength. And then everyone gets to play a card from their hand. So the cards are multi-use, where you can play it for its upgrade, or some cards are missions that you're going for scoring extra points. There's also event cards, but all of them have a little icon that can be used in battle to add 1, 2, 3, or even 4 strength to a battle. So it's played in secret and then revealed. And the way that combat works is that the winner does damage equal to the number of ants they have, but they have to split it evenly amongst all the opponents that are there. So if I had 4 ants and I was fighting 2 other people, I could kill 2 ants from each of my opponents. And then the opponents, for every 2 ants they collectively have, deal 1 damage back to the winner. That's literally how it goes. And it has area control. You're getting points for controlling the locations around the center of the map, which is excellent. So there's incentives for that. There's locations that give passive victory points when it comes to doing income. I loved this game. I have the deluxe edition for it. I've got all the expansion stuff that comes with it as well. Really looking forward to playing this again. It offers so much replayability with all the upgrades that you can do. I didn't even get to see all the tiles in my very base version of playing the game. There's an advanced mode you can play where there's drafting done at the start, and also it extends the game to 5 rounds instead of 4. If you want to get a game like Eclipse but play it in probably half the time, I'd definitely say it's not a short game. It probably will take a couple of hours to play, especially on your first play. But once you're super familiar with it, that time will come right down. It was brilliant.
I was gonna say Board Game Geek says it's 60 to 90 minutes, and it doesn't sound like it could be.
That's
60.
a lie. That's a straight up lie. Oh, to be fair though, my first play was 5 players, so that's max player count. So obviously take that into your consideration. But I can see this game at 4 players that have all played it before getting down to that 90-minute time frame for sure. March of the Ants is brilliant. If I don't know where you can find a copy of this, but maybe Advent Games, maybe More Than Meeples, there's probably the 2 top ones I would recommend, not just because they're sponsors, but genuinely, there's a good chance either of those guys might have it. But yeah, March of the Ants was brilliant.
And it's the guy who did Wonderland's War, Tidal Blades, Canopy, Grim Forest.
Yep.
Yeah, very cool.
I do remember you talking about this on a previous podcast where you just played it that first time, and I knew at that point you were going to sizzle it straight away.
Oh yeah. It is so good. And there's so much to explore in there. I used to own a copy of Eclipse, and I sold it because it was never getting played because it's too unwieldy. For me, scratches that itch, and I will get it out because it's the size of a Ticket to Ride box.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Very cool. I'm exceptionally eager to try this one.
You should.
Lauren, what have you been playing? What's a good game that you've been playing? Because we've heard about all the weird and not so good games. Let's hear about something good, something sizzle-worthy.
Weird games. I was tempted to sizzle Temple to Shrekins, but I won't. I'll sizzle. I will keep my sizzle, which is Take Time. Have either of you played Take Time?
Yes.
No.
Dana, what did you think of it?
I loved it. I thought it was great. And it's gorgeous.
It is quite lovely. Have you heard of it, Jules?
No, I've never even heard of it.
So Take Time. It's one of those games where you think, how has no one thought about this before?
Okay.
It's so simple in its conceit. It is a cooperative deduction game, and it looks like this kind of clock. So it's not really trick taking, not really. It's a card shedding game. So everyone's going to be drawn out cards for different scenarios in the box, which get progressively harder. And everyone wants to get rid of their cards with limited communication, a la, The Crew, say, for example. And in these different chapters, so there's this kind of clock face or this clock hand, and there's 2 types of cards. There's light cards and dark cards that are going to be numbered 1 to 12, and they have different back faces, so you can see what other people have. And on your turn, you're just going to play a card to a section of the board. So there's kind of different sections of this clock, and everyone has to get rid of their card and adhere to certain rules. So one of the main ones being that as you go around the clock, all of the numbers, the stacks of numbers need to get larger and larger in value. And there's going to be other rules, like some have to have 3 cards, some have to have a light card, and different rules as you go through the missions, which I won't spoil, but limited communication. So what do? Well, in a scenario, you may have the opportunity to play a card face up. And so that will seed information to your teammates about what you have in your hand, what's left. And again, it's all about the meta around what's in your hand. What this game does do, and it's baked into the rules, it says before you start a scenario, after your cards are dealt to your hand, everyone will discuss a general strategy. What I really liked is a tiny little house rule we added, because that is really essential to do well in this game. We added a house rule, which is every scenario we did blind first, and then we did the discussions. I think that you could do it either way, and that's really the entire conceit of the game. So you have this discussion phase, you play your cards, you go and reveal the sections one by one. So you flip over and see, did we do it? Did we do it? Did we do it? There'll also be things, all the cards in this section can't be more than a certain number. So the total, you can't just leave all your high cards and dump them at the highest one, because it could only contain a certain number. It has to have, exactly 3. It has to be under a certain value. So you have to find, okay, well, I've got a 12. Where can I put it? I put it first at the end section. Okay, everyone knows that that's a 12. Okay, but now, because it has to be under a certain value, the other cards have to be low, but those low cards needed to go in the other lower sections. So that's really the whole game. It's very, very simple. And then it just adds more little wrinkles as you progress the missions. It is brilliant. And why I like this, say over the Crew, for example, and the Crew's a really good game. I know, Dana, it's in your top 10 and people like it's a good game. This doesn't have trick taking. And so all of the meta feels a little more transparent. You don't have to work to get there like you do to gain familiarity with, the nuances of doing what certain things mean in trick taking. Because not only do you not have to deal with the rules of following and things like that, you also have a discussion at the beginning of the kinds of approach that people are going to take. So everyone is on board and understands what the meta is. But having that discussion does not necessarily mean you're going to succeed. And so I think it just achieves what it sets out to do so masterfully, like so well. It is so approachable. If you like cooperative deduction, but have had difficulty getting people into the Crew because of the trick taking, and you're kind of constantly replaying that intro mission because you're trying to teach trick taking at the same time, this is so good. Is so good. I haven't got the chance to play through all of the missions. I've played through a sizable portion of them. I found that it scales well at all player counts. I probably enjoy it most at 4. But yeah, I can't recommend Take Time enough.
We actually taught this. There were teachers of this at the previous Brisbane game day. We got it as I think it was from LPG. Would that be right? Would it be LPG?
No.
Could be Asmodee then. Anyway, and I remember talking to the people afterwards, and everybody at that table went and bought the game. Wow. Straight away. They loved it. Absolutely loved it. So you've redeemed yourself, Lauren. We'll let you stay.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have a sizzle as well. And I know Jules has played this as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait. Sorry, I'm interrupting you. A small clarification. I misspoke. When you get dealt your cards in the discussion, you don't know what cards you have in your hand. You just know the colors, the faces of your cards. You know what combination of light and dark you had. So I misspoke. But yeah, sorry. Just going to add that in. I'll snip it in.
So my sizzle is a game that Jules has played as well. And this game was probably one of the most popular games at Dice Tower West. And actually they sold out of copies of this game. And it is available here in Australia as well. And it's called Tenby. And Tenby is by a fellow called Benji Talbot. And he self-published the game under his publishing company called Cozy Cub Games, which gives you an idea that it's a cozy game. Well, I think it's cozy anyway. And so it is about recreating the lovely town of Tenby, which is a real town in Wales. And if you go to Google the town of Tenby, you will see that it's a beautiful seaside town surrounded by these lovely colourful painted buildings. And when you look at the game and you look at the cards, it's exactly like that. It's essentially a city building card game, and it's played over 10 rounds. And in each round, you're going to draft cards to play into your town. And over the course of the game, you'll be adding terrace houses, which are these lovely coloured houses that you see in the pictures. You'll be drafting piers, landmarks, or recruiting residents, or recruiting citizens. I think they're called citizens. And you're going to be placing these cards adjacent to each other to form a street. Or if it doesn't fit, you can start another street. There's no limit to how many cards you can have in your street. It's a very cozy, welcoming, in my view, calm adventure. That's what I would describe it as. So the game starts with the day phase, and it's kind of like bidding whether you want to take cards with lots of icons that are going to give you a lot more cards to place into your street, or you can bid early and get fewer cards to draft. So it reminded me of a little bit, kind of like King Domino with the turn order, although King Domino's got a little bit of luck, because when you're choosing which action card to take, they're actually in numerical order. So the ones that will give you less are first, and the ones that will give you more cards are at the end. So you're going to have to look at the card market to see which suits you best. And there are a few different markets. There's the terrace house market, there's a pier market, and then there's a landmarks market. And there are only, in the terrace house market, there are only one more card than there are the number of players. And it's actually super competitive because those cards don't refill during the game until the cleanup phase. So sometimes you're sort of left wanting with the cards. You can draw a card from a deck which has got sort of like generic terrace houses. It'll give you points. It'll fit, probably where you want to go, but it won't give you too much else. And as you're drafting these cards, they have to go into your town immediately. And the terrace houses are really lovely to look at. And they've got beautiful little features, like they might have a little park bench, and they've got a little seagull and lamps and shutters, and it's like the artwork is just really lovely. But they've also got they've got sides on them. Some terrace houses, you can attach other terrace houses to them. Some of them end and you can only attach a pier to them. Some of them end as in are the end of the street. So it's quite challenging to try and get the terrace houses orientated in the right way for your street. And each card, whether it's a pier or a terrace house, have a scoring condition. For example, it might say, I'm scoring the number of seagulls up to 2 cards to the left, or 2 cards to the right. Sometimes it's both ways. Sometimes it's either side. Or it might score clouds or shutters or any number of things. But it's really interesting, the decision space that you get about where you can put these cards, and is it worthwhile me putting it on the end of this street, even though I'm not going to score anything, but I'm going to get the right end to be able to place another card there? Or should I start another street? Because there are other cards as well, which are called citizens, that you can recruit, but you're going to score higher points if you finish the street as opposed to leaving it open-ended. And it's really, really great. And you're going to continue to do this over 10 rounds, and then you're going to go through a scoring phase where you score each individual street, and whoever has the most points wins. There are landmark cards, and you can only have one landmark card per street, but they will score you big points. And often those landmark cards will score the whole street, or it might score the whole street all the way to the left, or the whole street all the way to the right. So you have to be very particular about what landmark you're going to choose, particularly if you're only going to get one of them. But I found the turn order very interesting, and just the drafting. I tell you what, it was actually quite stressful because I found that the cards didn't fit right, and it can be very thinky. I can imagine that this would be. I played it at 4 and I played it at 2. I think at 5 it might go a bit long. I don't know about you, Jules, whether you played it.
I played it at 4 players. I didn't feel like it outstayed its welcome though.
What did you think of it?
I really enjoyed the game. I thought I'm agreeing with you that the drafting system's really clever. You can go first, but you're going to get first pick at things, but way less than other players, or you go last and you get tons of stuff, but it's whatever's left over. And sometimes the timing on that works for you either way. I thought it was a brilliant game. Just those decision spaces you've talked about, this building will score me 2 points if the building to the left and right of this one are also a red building, etc. But start to multiply that up by the artwork you said. There's bins, park benches, shutters, chimneys, clouds. So it goes on and on and on, the different pieces of artwork that you can score off of. This is a game that for people that have any ounce of AP can just be sent into oblivion.
Yes, I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
The amount of min-maxing you can do with all the 3 markets of cards available on the board, plus the goals you've got with the citizens, you can your brain can start leaking out your head and just go into a meltdown of, I don't know what the best card to pick is.
Yes.
And yeah, that's if you're that kind of player, steer well clear of this game. Go as far as you can away from it. But if you're okay just going, I think that's probably the most points for me, I'll take that. That'll do.
Yeah.
If you've got that attitude, I can see it being a cozy game where people are just happy building out their street. But there's so much point potential and so many interlocking pieces of artwork to score off of that, I can see the game blowing out if people are having a hard time choosing. But production's beautiful, the artwork's great, the gameplay is really smooth and simple and easy to understand. It's just those decisions can send some people into oblivion.
Yeah. It was a great game, very, very popular. And for me it feels cozy, but maybe I don't have AP. Maybe that's why.
No, I can totally see that.
But beautiful game. So I'd highly recommend everyone try Tenby. What are you doing, Lauren?
The art on this game looks, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with it. I'm just obsessed with it.
It has a very distinct style, but it's really nice.
It's precise. Everything's straight lines and perfect.
Outrageously charmed by it.
Yes.
It gives me the same kind of charming that downtown farmers market does.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. So there are sizzles. So we had March of the Ants, Take Time, and Tenby. So now for some news and announcements. Of course, the thing that's on all of our minds is PlayCon. And PlayCon is on the 3rd to the 5th of July. And it's not too far away. It's getting very, very exciting. The event schedule is being finalised and it's full steam ahead. It's been something that I've just been amazed at. Just recently, I've been emailing Cole Worley and Andrew Bosley about their activities during the event. And it's so exciting that they are excited to come to our event. They are thrilled, and they're so super pumped about being there and interacting with people. And I really think if you're on the fence about coming, you should definitely think about coming to PlayCon, even if it's just to meet these guys. It's going to be fantastic. It's really, really exciting. And our exhibitor booths are all gone. They're all sold out. It's full. So that's very exciting. Designer Alley is going to be a little bit bigger than it was last time.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had a lot of applications, and applications close on the 30th of April. We've still got charity shirts available for order, and there will be something else coming onto in terms of merch soon. So look out for that. But this has been a labor of love for our team, and we hope that it's going to be the best convention that we've had so far. So stay tuned for some announcements in the next few weeks. And yeah, it's very, very exciting. We've also got the Melbourne Game Day coming up on the 25th of April at the Gaming Arena in Coburg. So tickets are on sale at Eventbrite. So if you're in Melbourne, check it out. Last week's question of the pod, which I thought was a great question. Did you come up with that, Lauren, this question?
No, that was given to us by Jonathan, one of our wonderful guests last week. Highly
it's
recommend
a very good question, actually.
Pod.
It was a very good question. So last week's question of the pod was, what game have you played where the look of the game was drastically different to how it played? And actually, we've talked about some tonight. So, Lauren, would you like to read some of our Facebook responses?
Sure. This was actually a popular answer everywhere, but Sean Lee says, Root looks like a children's book, is a war crime. Nothing prepares you for getting absolutely dismantled by a guy playing a raccoon. Yeah, but if you play the vagabond, I don't want to play. If that's your preferred Root character, I want to play with you.
Oh, I love it.
Catherine Hayward says, Finker received a loving reprint. Looked like a light contract fulfillment game with wonky meeple resources, but it's a sneaky, ruthless game that has you cheering loudly at the table when you ruin other people's turns.
That sounds like fun.
Morgan Kennedy says, I'm going to say The Witcher Path of Destiny. The big box is big and thus looks quite intimidating, but gameplay-wise, not much more complicated than Splendor, possibly even simpler. Wow. And Mitch Keddy said bonk.
I don't understand this. What is this? What's this joke?
It's a deep cut. A very deep cut.
I don't get it. What does it mean? Bonk. I looked it up on BGG. There is a game called Bonk, which looks fairly lame. But yeah, anyway. Okay. Anyway, I'll have to find out the story on that. Maybe someone else can fill it in. Jules, do you want to read Discord?
Yes. I'm going to butcher this one. Wootajuri. I don't know how to say this one. I'm sorry. But they said the first time playing Pondscape fried my brain. At a con, a small game tableau builder about frogs. How hard could it be? Was I wrong about that? Way more to think about and lots of options than what it looked like. My mistake was thinking it was easy due to how it looked. Repeat plays have gotten easier, though, as you learn more or less what's in the deck and what to aim for. Ray's, which is Mark, said, Gingham, a very simple, serene concept and cute-looking game. Just some ants having fun at a picnic, but it's utterly brutal. Stephen said, Arboretum looks like a chill, lovely game of planting different trees and naturey bliss. But at its core, it's a cold, mean game with every decision so tough to make. Love it. That's probably one of the quintessential answers for that question, I'd say.
Yeah.
We also had Chris said, Stumped, an incredibly cute game where you build a little wooden tree until you don't. No, you can't have that card. Nope, that branch you just built, yeah, get rid of that. It's one of the most take that games. Absolutely brutal. Haven't heard of that one.
I haven't heard of it either. Originally, when Chris put the picture on Discord, I thought it was a game about marijuana, but it's not.
No,
it's
that's
not.
stoned, Dana. Not
I'd like to, if it's possible, I like your idea how name a game mechanism or something about coming up with the name of a game, like how you came up with argy-bargy.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. So what?
Come up with a name for a game that should exist. How does it play?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Name.
But it could be anything. Cats always fall on their feet. Like, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a common phrase that should be a game.
What about like a card game that's called Three's a Crowd, and it's all about having sets of threes? You know what I mean? These are the ideas.
Oh,
Designer
man.
Alley, we're
full of
doing your
ideas right
work
now.
for you.
My mind is going to Aussie slang, like stone the crows.
No, because when you said Aussie slang, the first thing I thought of was not hit spiders.
Yes. That'd be a great game. I don't know how it plays.
We're not here to spiders.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be funny. That would be funny. Oh God. Some kind of Aussie humour. No, I've got nothing.
I can imagine like an Aussie version of a Cards Against Humanity, but it's just called Struth.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So our new question of the pod is related to Lauren's idea of calling a game argy-bargy. And it's come up with a great name for a board game and tell us how it plays. And we've been mulling it over as we've been thinking about the question of the pod. And Lauren's got heaps of ideas, and so is Jules. So off you go.
Something called flat out Brussels sprouts might be a good one. Lots of Australian sayings. A real-time game called Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. I don't know. There's like an area of the board that you're trying to like lay tiles, and then there's an area you got to lay them in quickly, but it's like time-based. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like, you are
destined to be a board game designer. You are.
Absolutely not. Just not even remotely. But if you want a cute name, hit me up. Other than that.
Okay. I've got two more ideas. One is, the first one's probably more lame, but I can imagine a game called Hooroo, and you're trying to figure out who's leaving the party, some sort of deduction game about who's said Hooroo and who's trying to leave or something like that. I don't know.
I love that word.
Yes,
great.
Hooroo. The other one was for argy-bargy. I'm imagining that the theme of argy-bargy is some kind of, I don't know how to describe this, but it's a game where you're earning points for knocking out other people in a mosh pit and just moving around the board trying to hit each other or something like that. It's simulating a mosh pit, and it's called argy-bargy.
Oh, I love that.
I love that.
You're all such creative beings.
Yeah, we need another racing game that's just called Leadfoot.
Yes, Leadfoot. Yep. Oh, or Chuck-a-Yui, something like that.
Yeah, Chuck-a-Yui is a good one.
There's got to be something about going to the servo as well. Like just going to the servo. There's got to be some kind of game about going to the servo. I love that.
Clean up on aisle 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's like a management strategy game where you're trying to kind of keep things clean and mess is piling in.
Oh, God, that would be so good.
It's a cooperative game of trying to clean up the aisle, and you're chasing after a kid that's chucking things off the shelf, and you're trying to catch up to him and stop him while keeping the aisle clean.
My God. Jules, I'm looking forward to your submissions to Designer Alley.
Yeah. Oh, this would be so good. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So we'd love to hear your answers to this question. I think this is going to be a hoot. So if you want to support our podcast, you can head on over to Patreon/BoardGameBarbecue, where you can get access to exclusive podcast episodes. I can hear you laughing, Jules, because you've come up with another idea. What is the idea?
It wasn't.
Go. Yes, you were.
It was not an idea. No, it was Lauren's comment.
About what?
On the notes.
Sorry, I wrote Coco was a mole,
it
so we
just
know to
caught me
cut
off
that
guard.
out.
Oh my God. Oh, for God's sake.
Okay, fire it up. Let's
Throw me Anyway, tell someone about the podcast or leave a review or do something useful about the podcast. There we go. That's it. All right. You've completely thrown me off. All right. Oh, this is like the Keystone Cops.
Also a great name for a board game, Dana. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, God. So now we're going into the fired up segment. Yeah, that's it. So what has got us fired up, what we're excited about? Lauren,
Your
what are you excited
SFX
about?
have me fired up. I am fired up for a few things. Well, we've got Easter in the country in Roma, and then also the Roma show. And very lucky that we're going to have Adrian, MJ, and Finn visiting for Easter, and then my parents visiting for the Roma show. So it's just really lovely to have people over, just kind of do things around the country. There's lots of country events on. It'll just be a really nice time to catch up with some loved ones.
Is that because you don't have any friends?
I'll have you know I've made one friend in Roma. Her name's Kayla. Yes.
The other resident of Roma.
Hey, we also have a traffic light. Let's not.
Whoa.
A traffic light.
Is there going to be bull riding at the show?
Yes, there will be a rodeo.
Yeah, so entertaining. I've been loving going to rodeos. It's great fun.
Sorry, Jules, you live in Sydney. When are you going to rodeos?
There are definitely rodeos out in Western Sydney, let me tell you.
Oh my God, I can only imagine. Anyway, whatever. Jules, what are you fired up for? Stop laughing. Now listen here. Young people. It's enough.
I am fired up about Riftbound Unleashed. So this is the third set for Riftbound, the TCG. It's coming out in the next 3 to 4 weeks. I can't remember the exact date, but towards the end of April. They've announced and spoiled all the cards coming in the set. So now everyone's busy theory crafting how they're going to build their decks when the next set of cards comes out. I've been playing Riftbound on most weeks, twice a week now. There's 2 different local game stores I go to.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm fully in this.
You're in deep.
I am in very deep. I've got big storage boxes for all the bulk cards that I've got for it now. And yeah, going to local game stores at least twice a week to play at Nexus nights where you pay casually and you get some promo packs for participating. And this is, I guess, all in the lead up to the Riftbound Regional Qualifiers, which is an event happening in Sydney is second weekend of May, if I'm remembering correctly. But that is going to be, well, if all goes to how things are being planned with work and the UVS and Riot teams, they're hoping to have almost 3,000 Riftbound players there from across the country and even people flying internationally. Yeah. So there's obviously money on the line for that competition and other cool prizes. So I'm invested. I am playing it a lot. I'm going to go and compete at the regional qualifiers, which would be really, really exciting.
Oh my God. Good on you.
I've never done this before.
I was waiting.
Wow, this is going to be so exciting.
Dana, I was waiting for the patent. Oh, well done, Jules.
Oh, I will. Jules, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. I'm glad you're
That's
proud
really
that I'm
exciting.
participating.
Oh, that's so good. And Kieran can watch on and she can have a T-shirt with your big head on it. Oh, that
And then
would
she'll
be...
take off that
Oh,
T-shirt.
no.
it'd be another
T-shirt
head.
with your head on.
That would be so
dear.
funny. Oh, that
dear.
would be so
But yeah,
funny.
it's a
That's
very
awesome.
exciting event coming up. And I'm probably in the weeds here a little bit, but I think the thing that's really exciting for me is that they've done other regional qualifier events around the world at this point. They've done one in Texas, in Las Vegas, Bologna in Italy. They're happening all over the world at the moment. And they've timed a lot of these events to be just a couple of weeks after brand new set releases. And so I feel like the collective community that's plays all this around the world really has all eyes on those events soon after a set release to see what's the meta, like what are people cooking up in terms of deck building. And China gets the cards earlier, so a lot of the world has followed what the competitors in China are doing, but the style has been actually quite different from the Western world players, English-speaking countries, I'd say. So I feel like it's going to be quite interesting to see how does the Australian scene contribute to how players interpret the new set around the world, which I'm quite excited for. And I know I've talked about Riftbound a bunch, but it genuinely is just really exciting to have gotten into a TCG from day one. And it's not like I've discovered this thing 15 years after it was released and there's 60,000 cards in circulation that it's just unwieldy to try and wrap your head around. That's what I'm loving. I love playing this game. It's so good. Very excited for the new set and the regional qualifiers coming up in May.
Well, I probably should have changed the order because I was going to say that I'm signing up for a juice cleanse. Because that sounds really bad compared to what you're doing. But I'm going to do a 3-day juice cleanse, all organic juices. Have a good clean out. Yeah, that's what. But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great, don't you think?
Report back to us, Nana.
It's all about
Let us
good
know
health.
how it goes.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever.
Do you get different flavors of juices?
Yes, you do. Like there's beetroot juice, celery juice. They do warm juices, cold juices. Anyway.
So you're excited for warm beetroot and celery
Anyway, you wait until you get to 53. These things are a big deal. These things are a big deal. The best thing that happens to you every year is getting a colonoscopy. I can tell you now.
Oh my gosh.
You'll see.
I'm delighted for you, Donna.
Anyway, so that was the most ridiculous episode. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Jules. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you for the adventure. See you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.